Yo, what up, fam? This your boy Sid, the RC guy, and we're here at beautiful Copart Hobbies down in the basement. And we're here with some awesome toys and one of my good friends, Tom. Tom, how we doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good on this lovely day.
All right.
So, we have one of the coolest tracks by far, I feel, in Colorado. Besides the one he probably has in his basement. This thing is phenomenal. I'll put some pictures at the end of the video. So, Tom, let's talk basics here. What size is our track here at Copart in the basement?
This is an 8x24 table. I never really got exact measurements. I'm guessing it's about 85 feet, 4-lane Carrera track.
Nice. How many brands would you guesstimate are out there?
Of track, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, in all the scales, there's, AFX, Auto World, Carrera, Ninco, Scale Extric. That's about it for right now. I mean, there's been probably several dozen brands over the years, but
Nice.
right now just probably 4 or 5 basic brands.
Nice. So I see you brought a few cars down to show us, and I know that you were talking to me earlier about different scales, different speeds. Just give me a quick little rundown on kind of some basics here.
Well, the smallest scale right now is HO scale. They're 1/64 scale cars. The current ones that are out there anywhere from $22 up to about $40. They're ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're a lot of fun to drive. Next scale up is 1/43 by Carrera. They're really geared towards kids, probably in the 10 to 15 year range. They're a lot of fun to drive. They do digital versions of these, so you can run 3 cars on 2 lanes at the same time, which is kind of cool. 32nd scale is probably the most popular scale, and it has been for years. Cars range anywhere from $40 up to well over 100, depending. There are some very limited production cars that are very rare, very expensive, and most people don't run them. They just put them on their shelf. And these have digital versions too, where you can run 6 cars on 2 lanes, which is kind of cool. 24 scale was the standard scale for commercial style cars back in the 60s and 70s mostly. Now they're putting out some really gorgeous display quality 24 scale models, but they run very well too. And they're not exactly cheap, but they're worth every penny, I think.
Nice. So how long have you been doing this?
Oh God, I had my first set in 1962 by a company called Eldon. It was actually a kind of a forerunner to the digital. It had, you could change lanes with the cars, but it had a little wired switch that went to the track so you could change lanes. But it was the same idea as digital. And so I've been doing it for, over 50 years.
So how competitive is this? I know that you were talking a while back, we were kind of just chit-chatting, and you were telling me that some people would get frustrated because you'd come out with almost like a box stock car, but because you knew how to drive, I don't think people realize there's a little bit of a skill here. It's not like you just throw it on the track and you pin it to win it.
It isn't. I mean, it does take some skill. The clubs that I run with run cars with no magnets. So most of the cars come with magnets now, so they're really stuck down pretty well. And a lot of people are just getting into this. They want the cars as fast as they can get them. And so they start adding magnets, which is not the greatest thing because it can damage the motors. But yeah, it takes some skill. Just because you have the fastest car on the track doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do well. I mean, you can have a really fast car. It's just like driving real cars. If you don't know how to drive it, then what's the point? But yeah, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of tuning. There's a lot of tuning secrets out there to tune a no magnet car to make it run well and stick really well. So yeah, it takes some practice and it takes some skill.
Nice. Well, let's wrap this up. My last question would be, what advice would you give to somebody that is wanting to start out with this or wanting to get into this? What would be some pointers you'd give them?
Well, I guess it would depend on age. If you want your little kids maybe in the 5 to 8 year old range, I would probably start out with the HO cars. They're a little bit, they're really stuck down. They stay on the track fairly well. Plus, most of the sets come with a power supply. You can turn the voltage down, so when the kids learn to drive, they can turn it up and go faster. If you want to get into some of the bigger cars, if you're just getting into it, I would suggest digital. It's a little bit more expensive to get into it, but it's nice that you can have 6 people running on 2 lanes, so you don't have to have a huge track to have a lot of people running. Other than that, that's probably the best way to do it. I mean, if you don't have a lot of room, 43rd scale is a good way to go too, because it doesn't take up a lot of room. So you could have a pretty good sized track on a little 4x8 table.
Nice. Well, thank you, Tom, so much for taking some time. Usually I always say keep your lipos charged, but today I think it's keep your tires on the track. As always, we got you guys later.
Keep it in the slot. Thanks.